Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumps back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we're taking the new Verse Ace and a mono strength team into all the Garp's challenges with no changes. So it's another one of these one team completes all Garp's challenges runs, and it actually works really well. Now, there is a little disclaimer. Obviously, I'm not sure if it beats Revolutionary Army 1 and Dofi 1, but they're not available at the moment. So I imagine it probably could. I mean, the team's pretty stacked, but it is led by the new Verse Ace, and this guy is an absolute weapon. All the talk is normally around Akainu because he's literally broken, but Ace, honestly, he's up there. Like, he is easy top. I would probably put him in top 3 best units. I'd probably put him third, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and while you're down there, smash the like button for me. Helps me out quite a great deal. And if you're new and you're enjoying the content, hit the big red subscribe button too. But what does this guy do? As a captain, he boosts shooters and free spirits by 5 times, 1.3 HP, makes strength, dex, and quick slots matching, and reduces crew's special reverse by 10 turns. I always forget about that 10-turn special reverse, and it's actually really handy. Onto his special now, he does 200 times his attack to all enemies, changes characters' own slots to own type, boosts free spirit and shooter character slot effects by 2.5 times, and if the captain slot is strength when the special is launched, you get a chain multiplier starting at 2.5 all the way up to 35 times for 2 turns. Now, the downside to this is it has to be your captain that has the strength orb. So with the friend captain, it gets a little bit weird, but if you do save the versatility of your ace for when you sort of need to use the special, you will be in good stead, as his verse effect will ignite enemies for 100 times their attack in non-type damage at the end of the turn for 2 turns, and then doubles the damage dealt to ignited enemies. He'll also change empty, block, bomb, T&D recovery, and G slots into strength, as well as his own slot. So this is a good way to be able to get the chain lock, as that way you can get the strength orb on your character or your captain, and then use the special to get the nice effects. That's enough about Akainu vs Ace though, or Ace I should say. Let's move on to the team now. So we are using Luffy Sanji. They're mainly here because they have hunger, which is great. They are our dedicated attack booster, and they can have a really busted switch ability, removing blind, despair, and paralysis by 1 turn, which is really nice. They can also use the pudding support to remove stun on the Enel stage, which is excellent. Very handy support to have. Usahachi, absolutely god rare recruit, removes threshold damage reduction defense up for 5 turns and gives us cooldown, also delays for 2 turns. He's great on all of the stages basically. He removes threshold on Enel, he removes threshold on the Navy stage, and he removes defense up damage reduction against Jozu, so he's just excellent to have. We have Stampede Buggy. Stampede Buggy does need to be limit break keyed. You need at least level 3 fear to remove the special blind on the Enel stage. He's also here to remove attack down as well as paralysis on the stage, on the WhiteBeard stage. But other than that, he's just not even viable on the Navy, but we still managed to get it done fairly easily actually. We also have the Lucci support. Lucci gives a 1.5 times color affinity boost to shooter characters, which almost like 2/3 of this team is actually shooter, which is really cool. Finally, we've got limited rare recruit Sabo. Now, I actually included this Sabo in here purely for his support, but he's just an absolute weapon. You could easily replace him with Legend Lucy. That would work absolutely fine, but you do need him to be super evolved. With the support of Koala, we can actually remove Despair and Bind for 2 turns, and this actually helps out a lot on the Navy stage, as well as sort of limited rare recruit Sabo just being an absolute weapon of a unit. Finally, we've got the Oro Jackson. It's an amazing ship. It makes perfect easy to hit, which is great for the Navy stage, and makes recovery and T&D orbs matching, which is just really nice. So that's enough about the team. Let's dive into the runs now. Alright, so starting at WhiteBeard, this is the team, these are the supports. Let's dive in. Now, if you're not using this exact team, when it comes to WhiteBeard, you really just want to bring some attack down removal. You get attack down twice, whether you want to remove it with supports, you need to remove 3 turns of it twice, as well as a little bit of paralysis. So Stampede Buggy is just an absolute god for strength, and especially because we can actually use his special on the Enel stage too. Makes him very good for both WhiteBeard and Enel, which is really handy, especially when you are doing these one team beats all events sort of challenges. On the second turn, we're going to come up against some Skypiea enemies, and they're going to blind... sorry, I'm thinking of Enel. We come up against the Watermelon Head guy, who gives us that first lot of attack down. So we're going to use the Buggy special here. Buggy can remove that attack down, which is awesome. Buggy can also remove paralysis, so that's going to be handy later as well. And then with that, we have a little bit of color affinity with our Luffy Sanji, and we can actually just take this guy out with normal attacks. This is a good time to actually build up that versatility of Ace, as that burn ability can actually come in handy on multiple different stages, as long as there's no full immunity, obviously. On to stage 3 against Higuma, Atmos, and the Chamber Guy. We're going to get special binded for 3 turns, but that really doesn't matter too much because we're just going to use normal attacks here to actually take these guys out. With Ace being such a bonkers captain, you actually have a lot of matching orbs, which is really, really nice. Strength, Dex, and Quick orbs are all matching for your Free Spirit and Shooter units. So getting matching orbs every turn is actually ridiculously easy. And with a 5 times captain, it just means you can output so much damage. When it comes to who's like more fun, Akainu and Ace, like I do think Ace is probably more fun just because I prefer building teams around his units. But Akainu is just like ridiculously broken with that sort of get hit and then burn mechanic. On to the next stage though, we come up against Iso, Speed Giru, and Fossa. Now, I got fairly lucky here, and Fossa was actually on a 3-turn cooldown, but we're just going to use the Luffy Sanji special here to give us a 2.5 times attack boost, and we just want to do as much damage as we possibly can. Ideally, we just want to take out Speed Giru, and if Fossa's on a 2-turn cooldown, target him and actually take him out as well. But because we have the overheal mechanic, we actually can stall on Fossa. Fossa will go to a 3-turn cooldown when he hits you. He hits you fairly hard. I think he hits you for like 40k or something like that. But because we have the overheal of Luffy and Sanji, that 40k is not that much. So if you need to, you can easily just tank a shot there. On to the next stage against Jozu. Jozu puts up 3 turns of defense up and damage reduction. And when he dies, he actually gives you normal attacks only. He doesn't have full immunity, however, so we are going to use the versatility of our Ace. So that way we can give ourselves a red orb. We're going to use the special of Usohachi to remove the defensive effects. And then we're going to use our Ace special to give us a chain lock and an orb boost to our Free Spirit and our shooter characters, which obviously this whole team is. And even without color affinity, like with no color affinity, we just destroy Jozu. Ideally, you obviously want to have Sanji just for that little bit extra damage, but as you can see, it just works absolute wonders. On to the next stage, we come up against Marco and Vista, who paralyze us, chain lock us, and lower our attack down by 3 turns. Now, because we have the 2 turns of chain lock with Ace, we don't have to worry about the chain lock, which is really, really great, but I actually didn't notice that until a little bit later. So we're going to put on the burn mechanic, and then we're just going to attack. I was planning on taking 2 turns here, but you can easily just destroy this turn in 1, provided you don't have that chain lock. Because like the normal attacks only is just kind of like whatever, you don't really care about it too much. The 1.8 million damage you do to Vista is just absolutely insane. Ridiculous how much damage that burn can do. Depending on the attack of the enemy, it depends on how much damage you'll output, which is super, super nice. On the final stage against WhiteBeard and Ace, we're going to remove color affinity because we are running a strength team. They slot bind our top and bottom row, but with our specials of Lucy and verse Ace giving us an orb boost and an attack boost, as well as a chain lock. We have color affinity with the support of Lucci, even though that really doesn't matter. And with that, we can actually just blow this entire fight out of the water. So I'm going to let this play out, then we'll move on to Enel. Very nice. Goodbye, WhiteBeard. Alright, on to Enel now. On to Eneru now. With Eneru, if you guys aren't using this particular team, basically you want to remove stun somehow, and that's where the support of Pudding is absolutely god tier on Luffy Sanji. And you want to get around Special Bind and Fear Resistance. So if you are using this team, you do need Buggy to be at Fear Resistance level 3. Otherwise, it's not going to work, obviously. And then you just want to fill it out with some attack boosters. There's a bit of bind, but it's not the end of the world. With Luffy Sanji's switch ability, it's actually really, really good. On stage 2, we come up against 3 Skypiea enemies, and they are actually going to bind and special bind 3 random units. Now, if you don't get Luffy Sanji binded, you can use their switch ability. And when I was actually testing this team, I was always getting Luffy Sanji not binded. And then I slapped the recorder on, and of course, Luffy Sanji gets binded. So, it is what it is. Ideally, we just want to try and do as much damage on this particular turn as we possibly can. So try and take out the Dex unit because you have color affinity, and then we can focus on the other units. Once we've done that, we're just sort of building up our verse meter, eating as many strength, Dex, and quick orbs as we possibly can. So that way we've just got that access to that amazing second special that the verse characters actually have. Kind of what makes them so damn busted, to be honest. But Ace Akainu are just in a whole nother league when it comes to verse characters. Even with like Shanks versus WhiteBeard in the conversation, Ace versus Akainu is just, there's something else. On to the next stage against Otero and Totoro, the Tweedledee Tweedledum, the original dual unit. We're going to use our Ace special to give us a full board of orbs and an orb boost. And then basically we're just going to say, screw your barrier, mate. I'm just coming in hot. So we're just going to hit our perfects with our barrier pen units, which is our Usohachi and our 2 aces. And that way we can just easily take this stage out without needing to worry about the barrier. We'll cop the burn damage too. We don't even care. On the next stage, we come up against Wiper and 2 of his Skypiea friends. They give themselves an attack up, which is not that drastic, as Wiper is pretty much the only one that does serious damage. They don't have full immunity though, so we are going to use the versatility of one of our aces. Ideally, you want to use the friend one, because then you've always got your one live, so you can guarantee that strength orb, and then that way you can guarantee the chain lock. But the 2 times conditional boost that Ace gives compared to the 1.75 that Akainu gives is actually a pretty big difference. The amount of damage output you can get just with the versatility is pretty nuts. Obviously, Akainu's benefit is that it's for 4 turns, and it goes through full immunity. On to the next stage against, I don't know these guys' names, so I'm not going to try. The dude on the ball, though, has Threshold for 4 turns, and the other guy rolls your specials back. Now, with Ace's amazing captain ability, he reverses specials back by 10 turns. So this stage is just absolutely like a cakewalk for Ace. With Usohachi, though, Usohachi can remove the Threshold, and he's immune to special reverse. So even if you're not using Ace, you can actually get around it that way. They also ship binders too, so things like the Liberal Hind, if you're running Psy and whatnot, aren't that effective. But look, it is what it is. Once we've sort of removed the Threshold, we can actually just do normal damage. We have color affinity with Sanji, and we can easily blow this stage out of the park. On to the next stage, though, we come up against Gidatsu and Om. Gidatsu and Om bind our bottom row, so ideally you want Luffy Sanji to be in the middle. Otherwise, it won't work as effectively. But from here on out, we are just absolutely smooth sailing. We're going to switch with our Luffy Sanji to remove the bind, which is awesome sauce. And then we are going to use the other, I'm assuming we use the other versatility of Ace. Yes, so we use the other versatility of Ace because there's no full immunity. That way we get that conditional boost. We've also got the burn, and we do have 2 turns to take this stage out. Against Om, we have color affinity too, which is just hectic. So just Om doesn't stand a chance, but we do have color disadvantage against Gidatsu. So that's where this burn mechanic just comes into play, giving you extra damage, giving you a conditional boost that's basically unavoidable, which is just super, super nice. Plus, it doesn't trigger any interrupts because versabilities are just busted. So let's say goodbye to Om here. And then we can focus on Gidatsu. Do we take out Gidatsu in one turn here? Maybe we don't. Oh, we do with the burn. I love when characters are on a 2-turn cooldown, because then the burn just does, it's just so much more viable. On the final stage against Enel, he's going to turn into the opposite color to our captain, which is really, really nice. And then he blows away all our cumulative effects. He does have full immunity though, so the burn or the versatility is kind of redundant. Pudding is going to remove the stun. We can remove the special bind with our Stampede Buggy. We've got color affinity with the Lucci support. We have a full board of orbs, as well as an attack and an orb boost with our Ace and our Luffy Sanji. And with that, Enel is just going to absolutely melt. The Fire Fist Ace is just going to destroy poor old Enel. You could arguably get like a chain lock as well, but like you don't even need it. Like it's just 15 mil, just like catch it later. So let's move on to the Navy now. Alright, so moving on to the Navy now, and obviously we are using the same team because that's the whole point of this particular video. So let's hop in. Now when it comes to Navy, you really want to bring someone that can remove Threshold. You need 2 turns of Threshold and you need it twice. There is Hunger as well, which is a little bit annoying, but with the limit break of Luffy Sanji, it makes life very, very easy. But you can also bring characters that just like give you recovery odds. It's another way to get around it. Other than that, you kind of want to bring a little bit of Bind, a little bit of Despair removal, whether you use that as supports like we are doing on this particular team, as you're probably seeing Koala pop up throughout the rest of the runs and basically do nothing until, well, now. So on stage 2, we're going to come up against a bunch of marine enemies. They've got a whole bunch of HP, but not a lot of, sorry, a whole bunch of defense, but not a lot of HP. So on the first turn, I'd highly recommend sort of building up Ace's first meter, as you're going to have to use all your orbs on this stage anyway. This is a really, really good time to actually get all of those strength, dex, and quick orbs, and just build up his verse meter so you can get that burn mechanic popping off very, very quickly. Once we've done that, we're going to move on to the third stage against Kobe Helmeppo. Against Kobe Helmeppo, they're going to put up the first lot of Threshold, as well as give us Hunger. They also turn all recovery orbs into block slots, which is very, very annoying, as ideally you'd want those recovery orbs to actually remove the Hunger, right? But we can easily remove that with Usohachi, which is really, really good. Usohachi actually delays, which they're not immune to, making this stage really, really easy. But Ace just has so much goddamn power that you just absolutely destroy them without needing the delay, which is really, really cool. 5 times captains, man. Yeah, they don't muck around. On to the Smoker Tashigi and Hina stage now. They are immune to delay. They give us 2 turns of Despair and 3 turns of Bind. So this is where Koala comes into play, as well as the special of Limited Rare Recruit Lucy. We also get a full board of unfavorable slots, as well as T&D orbs, which are also unfavorable, which really, really sucks. And if you don't take out Tashigi on the first turn, she's going to give you attack down. But with the support of Koala, with the special of both Ace and Limited Rare Recruit Sabo, sorry, the versatility of Ace, I should say. Versatility of Ace will actually turn those T&D slots into red orbs, which is a full board of matching orbs for this particular team. We also get the burn mechanic, which means we're going to do some damage. We get a 2 times conditional boost, and with that, we can actually just destroy this whole stage, which is really, really cool. On to stage 5 now, we come up against Kizaru, and against Kizaru, we have color affinity, which means that Kizaru, he ain't going to last too long. Now, with Kizaru, he has a perfect barrier, 2 perfects, and he actually makes it harder to hit perfects, which is a little bit annoying. But with the Aura Jackson, we can actually hit perfects fairly easily. So don't stress too much. And with Ace, he actually has Barrier Pen as well, which means you can actually get through that barrier. Now, normally you probably won't be able to take out Kizaru on the first turn. And on the second turn, he removes sound effects and special effects. But again, don't stress. As long as you're using the Aura Jackson, this whole team is Free Spirit besides Buggy. So with that, you can easily hit your perfects, as you can only hit with 4 characters on the next turn anyway. Buggy's basically useless for this actual run. He's only good for the first 2 fights against WhiteBeard and Enel. But other than that, like, he's just sort of here because this is a one team beats all. On to the Fuji stage now. Fuji only lets us hit with 4 units, and he has a bunch of chicky babes in the back. We're going to switch into Sanji here, so that way we can actually have a little bit of color affinity. And with the special of Luffy Sanji, as well as Ace, we can get a full board of orbs, an orb boost, and a 2.5 times attack boost, overheal mechanic, you name it, we've got it. With that, we're just going to hit with our 4 highest attack units, which should be Limited Rare Recruit Sabo, Ace, and Luffy Sanji. We can easily take them out, and then we're basically just going to stall until the sort of 89 turn or whenever we've got our specials back. So let's fast forward to there. Alright, where is it? Alright, so now that we've basically got all our specials back, we're just going to take out the last girl, and then we can move on to the final stage. Now, against the final stage, against a Kainu, he's going to turn us the opposite color to our captain, which is really good. We have color affinity that way. And with the support of Lucci, we can actually get the 1.5 times attack boost or color affinity boost to our shooter units. We have that annoying support of Pudding, but obviously we need that for the Enel stage. And we can just get an attack boost with Lucy. We can get an orb boost with Ace. We can get a chain lock with Ace because we do have our Ace's versatility. You just need to remember that the versatility only procs if your captain has a matching orb. So it can be a little bit annoying, but with the versatility, it does help out quite a bit. Now, I actually saved the orb boost for the revive. I think I was actually just doing some testing and I wanted to see if I had enough damage, which funny enough I did. You could easily use the Ace versatility, get the chain lock because it's a 2-turn chain lock, which doesn't get blown away. And then that way you can use the Usohachi special to remove the threshold on the revive. Just be mindful you can only use 2 specials per turn, so it is a little bit annoying there. But like I said, Ace just has so much goddamn damage that you can just easily take out a Kainu, even just with like 1 orb boost and some matching orbs. But again, if you need the orb boost, if you don't think you have the matching orbs, just use the Ace special. As long as you have a strength orb, you will be hunky-dory. So that's going to wrap up the one team beats all mono strength. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to get down there and belt the like button for me. If you're new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lates!